In a distant galaxy, an advanced extraterrestrial race called the Zalarans discovered a strange object drifting through space. It was one of Earth's Voyager probes, sent long ago to explore the cosmos. With their superior technology, the Zalarans were able to decode the message on the probe, revealing Earth and its inhabitants, humans. The Zalarans were intrigued by the idea of meeting the humans, but also concerned. The probe's message painted a picture of a species capable of both incredible achievements and terrifying violence. The Zalarans wondered if they should ever make contact. As the Zalarans analyzed the Voyager probe's data further, they were struck by the vast history of conflict on Earth. Wars, destruction, and countless instances of human violence plagued the planet. Despite their remarkable advancements, the Zalarans feared the unpredictable nature of humanity. They had witnessed the destructive power of human technology and the way it had been used for harm. The Zalarans, peaceful by nature, felt uncertain. Are they ready for us? Can we trust them? They debated. Their decision was to wait and observe, cautious yet hopeful. They began to wonder if humans were capable of change. They debated whether they had been too quick to judge. After much contemplation, the Zalarans decided to take the risk and send a delegation to Earth. As the Zalaran ship departed their home planet, they set a course for Earth, traveling at speeds beyond anything humans could imagine. The journey was long, taking them through strange and beautiful parts of the universe. The Zalarans shared their hopes and fears during the voyage, speaking of the potential dangers they might face on Earth. Some feared the humans' aggression, while others believed in the possibility of peace. But as their destination grew closer, one thing became clear. They would soon be on Earth's doorstep, ready to encounter the humans face to face. After what felt like an eternity, the Zalaran ship finally entered Earth's atmosphere. They marveled at the blue and green beauty of the planet below. As they descended, they prepared for their first contact. They knew it wouldn't be easy. Humans had their flaws, but they also had an immense capacity for wonder and understanding. The Zalarans believed that despite their fears, this was the right time to meet. The moment of truth had arrived. Would the humans accept them? Would they embrace the opportunity for a peaceful alliance, or would they react with fear and hostility? The Zalarans braced themselves for what was to come. When the Zalarans finally made first contact with the humans, they were hopeful that peace could be achieved. However, to their dismay, the humans responded with suspicion and fear. Despite the Zalarans' peaceful intentions, the humans' natural distrust ran deep. They feared the advanced technology of the Zalarans and the potential for them to wipe out humanity. The fear of being conquered or exterminated overshadowed any goodwill, and the humans saw the Zalarans as a threat, not an ally. The peace they had hoped for seemed increasingly impossible. As the tension grew, both sides began to prepare for conflict. The Zalarans, still trying to avoid violence, attempted to show their peaceful nature, but the humans were too consumed by fear. The Zalarans knew their power could easily overwhelm human defenses, but they resisted the urge to strike back. Instead, they tried to communicate, to reason with the humans, but the fear of extinction led the humans to take a defensive stance. The misunderstandings escalated, and neither side could find common ground. In a tragic turn of events, mistrust turned into full-blown war. The humans launched an attack on the Zalaran fleet, convinced they were protecting their world from invaders. The Zalarans, despite their advanced technology, were drawn into the conflict. They fought back, though not with the intent to destroy, but to defend themselves. The war raged across the planet, each side believing the other was the real enemy. The consequences were catastrophic, and both species began to face the horrifying reality that they might annihilate each other. As the war escalated, both the Zalarans and the humans were pushed to the brink of extinction. Cities were destroyed, resources depleted, and countless lives lost on both sides. The Zalarans, once a peaceful race, now fought for survival, and the humans, once full of hope, faced the terrifying prospect of their own destruction. The damage done was irreversible, and the once beautiful world of Earth became a war-torn battlefield. Both species, so close to the edge, began to question if survival was even possible anymore. With both sides nearly destroyed, the Zalarans and the humans stood at the precipice of annihilation. The Zalarans realized that their attempts at peace had failed, and the humans' fear had led them to this point of no return. In a final, desperate act, the Zalarans attempted one last ceasefire, but the humans, driven by years of fear and violence, saw it as a trick. A final battle ensued. As the dust settled, both species lay broken and battered, their once bright futures extinguished in the flames of war. The tragic truth emerged. Fear and mistrust had destroyed the potential for peace, leaving only ruins behind. Meanwhile, the humans, desperate to survive against the overwhelming power of the Zalarans, realized they were no match alone. They began to reach out to other species across the galaxy, hoping to find allies who could help them fight back. Some of these species had their own grudges against the Zalarans, who had kept their superior technology to themselves and refused to share it. These rival species eagerly joined the human side, eager to strike at the Zalarans. Others, however, sided with the Zalarans, seeing them as the more powerful force. Yet there were still those who remained neutral, unwilling to get involved in the galaxy-spanning conflict. What had started as a localized conflict between two species soon spiraled out of control. With the humans seeking allies and the Zalarans consolidating their power, the war became a full-fledged galactic struggle. Planets were destroyed, entire star systems fell into chaos, and millions of lives were lost on both sides. The once thriving civilizations now stood on the brink of collapse, with the fate of the entire galaxy hanging in the balance. As the fighting spread, the universe was torn apart by this intergalactic war, and no one knew when or if it would ever end. Clawed its way out of the abyss, an entity beyond time, reason, or mortality. They were the Nixari, godlike and eternal. Their very presence distorted reality. They wielded technologies indistinguishable from miracles, bending the fabric of space and time with a flicker of thought. Stars collapsed into singularities at their whim. Galaxies folded into oblivion like mere pages in a forgotten book. Neither the war-hardened Zalarans nor the resilient human fleets had imagined such power could exist. All weapons became futile. Light years of military strategy crumbled into irrelevance. The Nixari traversed dimensions effortlessly, treating the boundaries between worlds as fleeting illusions. A single encounter left civilizations shattered, their histories scorched into echoes of dust. For the first time, humans and Zalarans stood side by side, their hatred eclipsed by a terror greater than war. The very existence of the universe trembled beneath the weight of the Nixari's will. It was no longer a question of survival. It was a question of whether existence itself could withstand the arrival of these gods from the abyss. Seeing the overwhelming power of the Nixari, both the Zalarans and humans understood that their war, no matter how intense, was nothing compared to the threat that now loomed over them. Destruction on a galactic scale was at their doorstep. With no other choice, the humans and Zalarans made the difficult decision to cease their hostilities and form an alliance. The once violent enemies now had a common cause: to protect their universe from the existence-threatening power of the Nixari. As they united their forces, they prepared to face a new kind of enemy, one that was unlike any they had ever encountered. The newly formed alliance between the Zalarans and humans, alongside their allies, launched a full-scale assault on the invading Nixari civilization. They combined their knowledge and technology, hoping to challenge an enemy far more advanced than themselves. The battle was fierce, with the Nixari using their ability to manipulate space and time, turning the tide of the war with every move. But the united forces of the Zalarans and humans fought back with everything they had, determined not to allow their universe to fall. The battle waged across galaxies, the stakes higher than ever before. Would their combined efforts be enough to save the universe? In an unprecedented clash that shook the very foundations of existence, the united forces of the Zalarans, humans, and their allies waged a war of unimaginable ferocity against the Nixari, a conflict that drained every ounce of will, strength, and ingenuity, where the line between victory and extinction was razor-thin. Yet in a final, glorious surge of defiance, they outwitted and outmaneuvered their merciless invaders, pushing back the darkness that sought to devour their universe. With the full weight of their sacrifices behind them, they expelled the Nixari from their realm, ensuring that all they had fought to protect would survive, exhausted, bloodied, but standing tall in the afterglow of their hard-won triumph. The Zalarans and humans looked to the heavens, knowing they had averted total obliteration. But the scars of their battle, the eternal lessons carved into their souls, would never fade. The cost of survival was steep, but their resolve had been forged in the fires of war, and their victory would echo through the cosmos for eternity.